What's up, Chads, and welcome to the video. So today I want to do an update on Cosmik Finance because these guys have just released the version 2 of the white paper. Now this one goes a lot more in depth and has a lot more information to share. So I wanted to go ahead and give you the key points of that. Now these guys have also got their pre-sale coming up in 2 days now, and they've just purged a load of whitelist spots. So as of right now, 2 days for the pre-sale, there is still just over 50 spots available. So I recommend any of you guys that still haven't got yourself a whitelist spot for this one, that you head over to the Discord. I'm going to put all the links and information about the project in the description of the video, and you can go ahead and head over there and try and find your way to get a last minute whitelist spot. Because as you're going to learn from today's video, there's going to be a lot of reasons why you're going to want to be a part of this project. Now all you have to do is head over to the Discord server and just check in the chats. The hype for this project now is really building up. All you have to do is head over to the Discord server, and you can just see how many people are in there active, and the community is crazy. Now another couple of key things to mention here is Presale, the Sphere dev, well, one of the Sphere devs, has already confirmed that he's going to be part of the team for this. He's going to be helping out, and also these guys have got some of the Obsidian council members in the server as well, which I'm sure some of you guys know. The Obsidian council members and Presale would not be part of a project, you know, if there wasn't some big expectation. And yeah, so just another thing to announce as well. If you go into the announcements, I saw that React DAO, so that's a project, an investment treasury project that invests in different rebase projects. Even before, you know, Cosmik's launch, they've already pledged that they're going to invest $80,000 into this project, and this is only the 5th project that they've actually invested in. You know, including Seifu, Sphere, Web3 and Pragma. So this is going to be the 5th investment that React DAO are going to make, even before this project is even launched. So yeah, that's just something to take into consideration as well. So yeah, we've already gone over the website, so we'll move on to this version 2 of the white paper, and just have a quick look at the overview here. Now, 2 things to mention is how transparent the team is being with everybody. They're going ahead, and before the pre-sale, they're going to have 2 KYCs done. The first one's already done here. There's a link to it. You can go check that out for yourself. And they're also going to have 3 audits done also before the well, they're going to try and get it done before the pre-sale, including a solidity finance audit. So, you know, in terms of security and transparency and stuff like that, you know, you can't really ask for more with this team. Another thing that we're going to go into more detail about as well is in the pre-sale, these guys are going to use GemPad, which are a new launch pad. So we're going to go into detail as well. And there's the taxes. So we'll just head over into key differentiators, and explain what these guys are bringing compared to other auto rebase projects that we've seen in the past. Now, what makes these guys different is something that we've never seen before, is that these guys are going to have a dynamic tax and a dynamic APY at the same time. Now, what that means is basically this APY can fluctuate depending on you know, the volume and the buy pressure and the sell pressure and stuff like that. So the project can better adapt to the current market situation, because, you know, as we know, even looking at the best auto rebase projects that have launched since Titano, like including Titano, maybe you want to add Seifu, Sphere, whatever, you know, sometimes it's going great and, you know, price is moving up, but, you know, it doesn't last forever, and price, you know, does dip as well and does have sell-offs. So these guys have got a new dynamic APY system, which is going to help during those difficult times, and ensure that the project is going to be more sustainable over the long term. Now these guys have also got a bunch of utilities coming out, which we're going to go over a little bit more in a bit, you know, which always gives holders something to hold for, right? Because some of these projects, yeah, they might have some cool APY and, you know, some nice taxes or whatever, but then they launch and they've got no roadmap whatsoever. They've got nothing to look forward to in 1 or 2's time. So, you know, holders have got nothing to hold for, and then obviously end up selling the position as soon as getting some profits. Now, another thing to mention, I did say Presale from Sphere was involved in this project and will be working alongside the team. And these guys have also applied for the quantum liquidity as a service that Sphere are going to offer soon. Now, what this basically means is that all the projects that are going to be involved in this kind of ecosystem It's going to help strengthen the liquidity of all the projects that are going to be involved, which is obviously going to be a good thing in the long term. These guys are going to strategically choose partnerships, as we've already seen. A nice partnership there of React DAO with the Sphere Dev, Simsala, and I'm sure, and also the Obsidian Council. So you can see already they've got partnerships with some of the best in the space at the moment, and I'm sure that's going to continue as time goes on. Accessibility, so we'll go into that in a little bit more detail later. But as I was saying before about they've got future use cases coming, you're going to see how accessibility ties into that. Transparency, like I said before, these guys are doing everything they can, 2 KYCs and 3 audits before pre-sale. I mean, what more can you ask for, really? So moving on, pre-sale. Now I did want to speak about this because I did really like the decision that the team's made here. So this is going to be the information about here. As I said, it's going to be in 2 days' time on the 20th of April. Now the platform they're going to use is Gempad. Now for you that aren't familiar with that, because maybe some of you aren't, it's because it's actually a very new launchpad that's just been released. It's a multi-chain launchpad, and the most important thing about that is this here, is that Gempad don't ask for tokens in order to be listed on their platform. So as Cosmik Finance does their pre-sale on Gempad, Gempad won't hold a percentage of their tokens. Now, we know from the past and the problems with other launchpads, specifically Pinksale and DXSale. I'm happy to name them because there's been lots of problems in the past with Pinksale and DXSale taking percent. It might only be 2, 3, whatever percentage it is, but especially when these projects start doing well. When they dump their tokens eventually on the projects, as we've seen in the past from multiple different projects, it does have a huge impact. And we know that, seeing as though these guys have chose Gempad as the launchpad partner, we know that we're not going to have this problem. And just recently in the space, I can see a lot of projects now are moving over onto Gempad and starting to use Gempad. I can see Gempad now maybe start to be the number one launchpad in the DeFi space. So yeah, it's another really big positive that these guys have chose Gempad as a launchpad partner. There will be no vesting in the tokens, and the max contribution will be 5 BNB with a 1,200 BNB hard cap. Now, for any of you guys that are already in the server, you can see that these guys have built up a huge Discord community already. It's going up towards 11,000, and like I said, there's still over 50 whitelist spots to go. People are fighting for them with invite competitions and stuff. So expect that to raise up even more between them. Now, pre-sale is today, but the launch won't be until maybe another week's time. So that obviously gives the team enough time to then use maybe some of these funds that they're going to get from this pre-sale and use that on marketing between now and launch to ensure that there's some buy pressure at launch. So these guys wanted to get it across that they did write the code from scratch. It's not been forked from Titano, Seifu or Sphere or whatever. They have got this dynamic APY in there, which is completely different to anything we've seen before. And the dynamic tax as well, which we have seen in certain projects but haven't seen on the BSC one as of yet. So like I said before, these guys have got a huge roadmap, as you can see, in 3 or 4 months' time. They've got plenty of stuff that is going to come out in their little ecosystem they're going to get going on. So we're going to utilities. It breaks down a little bit better here. So they're going to, in the future, they've got a Cosmik swap. It's going to be a multilingual swap, and that is built in the Cosmik Galaxy. This is what I was talking about before, but by the accessibility, is Cosmik Fiat. So there's going to be a low-fee fiat payment gateway, so people who wanted to jump into and buy the protocol, maybe people who aren't into crypto, maybe have family members or whatever, they're going to have an easier way of being able to buy into the project without actually having to go through a centralized exchange or whatever like that. And they've got the Cosmik Edge Reverse. It's going to be a multilingual Edge Reverse as well for education purposes. So these guys have got some big utilities that come up in the future. As we say, from all projects, it's important that holders have something to hold for, and these guys have got some big things down the line that are going to come out that holders are going to have a reason to build in for. So they've got a section here that explains these dynamic APYs and taxes in a little bit more detail. So as I was saying before, markets go up and they go down, projects, they go up and they go down. Even the best of auto rebase projects that we've seen that have given the best results, Titanu, Seifu, Libero, Sphere. They go up, but they also go down. Now, dynamic APY is a new system that these guys have put in place for when those hard times are here and when those sell-offs are happening and the downtrend is there, is that a project like this can survive much better than a project without it, basically. So what it does, it basically fluctuates and changes its APY depending on the buy and sell volume on the project. Now this can fluctuate between 19,000% and 265, and the reset time, it will happen every 10 minutes. So, this system really could be revolutionary. If it works, then it could set the new standard in what future projects will then be like in the future, because, projects will want to implement what Cosmik have created, basically, if this system does work as it is intended to. Now, the dynamic tax is something we've seen before by several projects now, where basically it punishes people for holding too much of the supply. So for every 1% of the liquidity pool that you own, you're going to have an extra 5% tax. So if you earn 2% of the equivalent of the liquidity pool, you'll be taxed 10% and so on and so forth. It just stops people from holding too much of the supply, basically. And so yeah, these are now the treasury wallets. The Cosmik Trust is going to be their treasury, which is going to be used to establish floor values, and then going to be an additional financial support when if there's like an extreme price drops, for buybacks and stuff like that. It's also going to be used for marketing and funding new projects and services and stuff like that. Now the vault's the one that's going to be used for the rebase rewards. And yes, let's move over. This breaks down the tax. Here we go. So buy tax is going to be 14%, a 16% sell tax, which would be a 30% tax all round trip, which is very fair for a rebase protocol. Now, as I always recommend to everybody, getting into these projects early in the private and pre-sale eliminates this 14% buy tax, which saves you a lot of money in the long term. So, as long as you are watching this video nice and early, I do recommend that you head straight over to the Discord and start fighting for that whitelist spot as soon as possible. Because as I say, you eliminate this 14% buy tax here. This is broken down into 4% on buys and sells is going into the liquidity pool. You have 5% which is going into the vault on each one, which is going towards paying the rebase rewards. And then 2.5% of buys and 4.5% of sells is going to that Cosmik Trust, which is going to be there as a security in case the price drops too dramatically, and also going to be used for marketing and future projects and stuff like that. And 2% of each is going into the fire pit, which will essentially be burned, which kind of helps combat the inflation of the positive auto rebases, so the project can be sustainable over the long term. And as a little bit for those you guys who maybe have never invested in an auto rebase and auto staking project before and you don't really understand what this is, I've got a nice little paragraph here that kind of explains in a nutshell of how these projects work. And that's I've gone over most of the important things about the new white paper. As you can see, lots of detail, explains everything you need to know about the project. If you do want to read it in more detail, obviously I'll put a link to it in the description of the video below. Just another reminder that we are now 2 days to the pre-sale of this project, and there are just over 50 whitelist spots available for you guys to fight for. So head over there, try and find yourself a whitelist spot, and I'm looking forward to the pre-sale for this one. So thanks for listening, guys, and until next time, bye.